Welcome back. Anduril Industries announcing a new partnership with Meta to build and design a range of extended reality products for the U.S. military. This new technology will provide warfighters with enhanced vision and tactical information to further improve decisions made in combat. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg says, quote, Meta has spent the last decade building AI and AR to enable this computing platform of the future. We're proud to partner with Anduril to help bring these technologies to the American service members that protect our interests at home and abroad. Joining me right now in a Fox Business exclusive is the founder of Anduril Industries, Palmer Luckey. Palmer, great to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on this deal. This is big, and we want to understand better what it means for national security. Tell us about it.
Well, on the technology side, what we're building is a product that enhances the vision of soldiers, it enhances the hearing of soldiers, it allows them to seamlessly command and control large numbers of autonomous systems, basically exactly what you'd expect from a science fiction future. The interesting thing about partnering with Meta is that I started my career in virtual reality and augmented reality, and I sold my company to Facebook, now Meta, when I was 21, I guess, for a few $1 billion. And I was there for a few years working on virtual reality technology. And then they fired me in 2017, which is when I started Anduril, my current company. We've since decided to bury the hatchet and work together on national security problems. And all the technology that I'd worked on before Facebook, all the technology I worked on while I was there, and a lot of the technology that they've worked on since then is now coming back to be applied to national security challenges, which I think is a really powerful thing. I started Anduril because I was afraid of what would happen if our technology industry did not work hand in hand with our military. And it's fun to see everyone come around to my way of thinking. And Facebook's really been one of the people leading the way on this. They announced last year that they were going to allow their AI technology specifically to be used for military applications, for national security applications. And this is while most other AI companies are fretting and talking about how, well, maybe we're going to work on things like advertising and social media video generation first.
Yeah, I think it was incredible that you created Oculus and then sold Oculus for $2 billion and now are coming back and working with Meta. Congratulations. What an incredible journey. And Anduril has played a big role in keeping our borders secure, deploying 300 autonomous surveillance tower in September, the 300th. I want to get your take on what's most important right now in terms of securing this nation. You've got a great vantage point from your work at the border to your work in space and beyond. Where do you think the biggest threats are right now, Palmer?
Well, you know I'm a huge fan of border security, and I know that you know that border security and immigration policy are really different issues, and that even a lot of Democrats who want, I guess you could say, open immigration, agree that we need secure borders. It's truly a bipartisan or nonpartisan issue, regardless of what the spicier talking points from one party or the other might say. We need to know who's crossing our border. We need to know when sex trafficking, when human trafficking, when drug trafficking, when arms smuggling, when cash movements back and forth are going across our border. You're right, Anduril has hundreds of towers deployed on the southern border. We're covering about 35% of the southern border now. I think it is so refreshing to have a president who understands that border security is not a problem to be managed as if it's some kind of act of God or a natural disaster that you can, at best, slightly temper. It is a position that we can hold. It is an outcome we can secure. We can have a border where we know everything that's crossing back and forth. We can have a border where we control what comes into our country and what leaves our country. And I think that the recognition of that, seeing the success we've seen in the border security mission over the last few weeks has been fantastic. Now we need to figure out how to do it at a cost that's reasonable without having to surge quite so many people, particularly our brave men and women in the armed forces.
And thanks to President Trump making this a priority, and of course your work and other work, border encounters have plummeted within the first 4 months of the president's second term because of all of that. Palmer, what's your take on the Golden Dome that President Trump said will be in place before his term ends? Do you believe that has spurred an even bigger interest and spend on defense and on technology around securing our country?
So it has, and in two ways. One, I think it's encouraged spending on new national security priorities, ones that we probably should have been prioritizing a long time ago. You know, a lot of what you're seeing with Golden Dome goes back to the Reagan era with trying to build, the Star Wars Defense Initiative type of technologies. The idea of really being able to protect the homeland from missile attacks, from aircraft attacks, from drone attacks. This isn't too new of an idea, but I think the technology makes it much more feasible than it was decades ago. And so I'm seeing not just more spending on the government side, I'm already seeing a lot more spending on the private side. I'm seeing a lot of companies, Anduril included, who are investing their own money to build these technologies, knowing that there is now an appetite to actually deploy them if we can make them work. So I don't think that Golden Dome is going to be as expensive as people think that it is, and I think that it's going to be much more effective than the critics would have you believe.
Well, Palmer, you're also doing a fair amount of work on space. I think this is a really important subject. We're working right now on a documentary on space for Fox Nation, and that will be rolled out soon. But, somebody said to me recently, Maria, the next war will happen in space, or it will start in space, because that's where all our satellites are. And you've already launched satellites in space. What can you tell us about the threat that exists in space and why we need to win it and overtake China?
Well, nothing's changed since Star Trek. Space is still the final frontier. You're right. It is where a lot of the battles of the future are going to start. Whether you're talking about destroying assets in space or degrading their capability to perform, there's so many elements of our military that are critically dependent on space. I will say, though, I look at things a little more expansively than most people. A lot of people are focused on what space can do for ground conflicts, for communications, for intelligence analysis. I'm thinking a little more expansively. I strongly believe that the Republican Party in particular needs to have a very clear vision for what our space-based military capabilities look like, not next year, but 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now. We need to put forward an affirmative vision, the same way the Democrats have with energy. I'm not saying I agree with their position, but they've put forward a vision of what it looks like. No fossil fuels, cars, all electric. And we need to say, you know what? We need to control the shipping lanes between here and the moon, here in the asteroid belt. We need to protect freedom of navigation in space, freedom of communication in space, more or less doing exactly what the United States Navy does on Earth, but in a growing space economy. That's where we need to be looking forward to. And, I think it is going to look pretty Star Trek. Maybe no UN-led federation, though.
Palmer, this is so important. And before you go, Palmer, I'm frustrated with the fact that China is so good at surveillance, better than we are. I mean, you look at even alarm companies, they've got Chinese cameras. I've spoken with lots of companies who say, I have to buy my lenses from China. They're the best. What can the U.S. do to better compete with China? Why is it ultimately so important for the U.S. to beat China on this? Because the surveillance coming from Communist China on America has only gotten worse.
I mean, this is a problem that I understand very well. When I was in the virtual reality industry, I was part of the problem. I made millions of virtual reality headsets in China, including for some of the reasons you're talking about, optics that could only really be done in China feasibly. We were talking about optics where in China we could get them made for $5 or $6 a lens, and then in the United States it was literally hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars per lens from really highly defense-specific manufacturers. Look, there's a lot of things that you could do. This is a problem that took us decades to get into. It's going to take us a long time to get out of it. There's no overnight solution to hollowing out an entire generation of manufacturing engineers by making smart kids want to work in areas other than manufacturing, because our policy, our internal trade policy, our external trade policy has made manufacturing a losing play for a lot of our smartest kids growing up. I think that generally, though, it's not about labor costs. That's an outdated idea of why China's going to win. It is really about manufacturing policy, trade policy, and you can, China did not become a manufacturing titan by accident. That was a decision of their government, of their politicians. It was a priority for their state, and we need to make it the same.
Great points all around. I think this is a huge opportunity for an American company. Beat China at surveillance. Let's go. Palmer, great to see you this morning.
Always.
Thank you so much. Palmer Luckey joining us. All right, we'll be watching your work. It's important work, and we'll be right back.